Hi everybody, my name is Danielle Nicole and welcome to Monetary Makeup. Guess what just arrived in the mail? My Lisa Eldridge lipstick order. Now I've actually never tried any of Lisa's lipsticks, and I know I've been living underneath a rock, but that's why I picked up one in each of her formulas. Now one of the shades is old, one of them is restocked, and one is brand new. So I will be swatching and trying on each of the shades I picked up. So if you're excited to get started and enjoy the video while you're watching, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and let's get started right now. Now on this channel, I review everything from drugstore to high-end to luxury makeup. I really love it all. But ironically enough, one of my favorite matte lipstick formulas is actually the Wet n Wild lipsticks. So I'm hoping this is going to be quite the luxury experience in comparison, so let's find out. So let's first go over a couple of quick details about these Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. Each of these lipsticks retail for $36 US, and they come in a 3.5 gram tube or 0.12 ounces. Now the actual packaging is very luxurious in my opinion. It is a beautiful gold with a magnetic cap. Now I must say, one of the first things I noticed before even swatching any of these lipsticks is the attention to detail that Lisa has. So not only is this a beautiful gold packaging, but on the cap is actually Lisa's logo. This is definitely one of the most beautiful lipsticks I have ever held. In her iconic True Velvet formula, the shade I picked up is Velvet Beauty. The shade I picked up in her Insanely Saturated formula is Skyscraper Rose. And one of her newest shades in the Luxuriously Lucent formula is Rosy Shell. Now, I don't want to get too excited yet, but these shades seem like they are going to be a beautiful match for my fair, cool undertone. So let's get these on the lips. So I'm thinking let's go lightest to deepest just in case there is any staining. Now, I do have the Ulta lip oil on my lips. I always prep my lips that way. Alright, I just wiped off most of the lip oil, so let's start off with one of the newest shades from the Luxuriously Lucent line in the shade Rosy Shell. So it's my understanding that this formula is supposed to emulate a balm but give a little bit more color than a traditional tinted lippy. Now I've heard that some of Lisa's lipsticks can break quite easily, so she recommends turning the bullet down as far as it can go. Now I also store most of my lipsticks in the fridge, so hopefully that can help to offset any potential breakage. Alright, let's see what Rosy Shell looks like on. Wow, that's actually quite a bit of color for just one swipe. Alright, so that was a couple passes of Rosy Shell on the lips. Now I have to say I'm quite excited. I was hoping that this shade would lean on the cool tone side, and I would say it definitely does. So let's build this up just a little bit more. I am so excited. I absolutely love the shade in the undertone of Rosy Shell, and also I quite like this formula. It definitely does feel like a lip balm. However, it does have more pigment than I was expecting. Now, I would imagine that this formula is quite versatile because you can go in and just do one swipe for a soft flush of color, or you can build it up. Alright, well I would say Rosy Shell is probably going to be one of my favorites. Absolutely love the shade and formula. I don't want to take off Rosy Shell, it's so comfortable on the lips. Alright, next let's move on to her True Velvet line, again in the shade Velvet Beauty. Now this one I'm super excited for because I've heard that this is one of the best matte formulas on the market. Alright, Velvet Beauty. Wow, these are very pigmented with one swipe. And I'm not using any lip liner today, I just want to see how the lipsticks look on their own. So what's really interesting about Velvet Beauty is when I saw this shade on the models online, it appeared to be more neutral in tone, but on me, I would say it's coming up much more cool tone. And I was also expecting this shade to be a little bit more muted and perhaps a little bit deeper, but I would say it leans more on the bright side. It certainly is not a bright lipstick by any means, but it's so interesting to see how these lipsticks look once they're actually on the lips. Alright, so I can already tell that this formula is certainly one of the most unique mattes I have ever used. So first of all, this formula is so pigmented. When I went in with that first swipe, I was kind of thrown back because I wasn't expecting that much pigment to come off. And this is a very creamy formula. However, it still has a little bit of that matte texture. So I feel like it is the perfect balance of matte and not being too drying. You know, I would almost describe this shade as a cool tone rose. Alright, next up is Lisa's Insanely Saturated line, and I believe this shade was a restock called Skyscraper Rose. Let me just say, when I saw this shade online, I knew I immediately had to have it. And that's because creating a pink with a red base to it, I would imagine is pretty difficult. I don't think I've ever seen any shade like this. So can you see how this does not look like your traditional blue base pink? It has a little bit of a red base. Alright, let's see what Skyscraper Rose looks like on the lips. Wow, these are all so pigmented. Holy cow. I guess that's why these are called insanely saturated. Bright reds always take an extra minute to put on, so bear with me. Alright, well, not the neatest application I have ever put on. All I can say is wow. This has to be one of the most striking lipstick shades I have ever put on. You know, all of these lipsticks have such unique depth and color to them. I don't know how Lisa does it, but she certainly has a gift for creating lipsticks. Alright, well, for a first impression, all I have to say is these lipsticks absolutely blew me away. Now I can completely understand what all the hype is about. You know, there's a lot of products in the makeup world that get overhyped in my opinion and don't necessarily deserve the hype. This is definitely not one of them. These lipsticks are so extraordinary, which might sound a little bit dramatic, but when I put these lipstick shades on, I really feel like I'm a boss. Alright, you guys have to let me know down below, did you pick up any of Lisa's lipsticks, any of the new, any of the old, and if you did, which shade is your favorite? Alright, well, I do hope the video and swatches were helpful for you all. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye, guys!